Chapter 6. The Art of Istanbul. From Ancient Walls to Modern Souls. If Istanbul were a painting, it wouldn't hang neatly on a wall. It would spill across the frame, drip onto the floor, maybe catch fire, and somehow still look magnificent. This city doesn't do minimalism. It's a full-blown masterpiece of contradictions. Ancient and modern, elegant and chaotic, sacred and rebellious all at once. Because here's the secret. Art in Istanbul isn't confined to museums. It's in the calligraphy carved into mosques, the graffiti under bridges, the song echoing from a ferry, the dance of a dervish, and the espresso foam art in Kadıköy. Every inch of this city performs. The mosaics that started it all, long before Istanbul became Istanbul, it was Constantinople, the pride of Byzantium, and its art still whispers through the centuries. Step inside Hagia Sophia or Kora Church and you're hit by a shimmer of gold and glass. Byzantine mosaics aren't just pictures. They're divine architecture. Every fragment, every reflective piece of glass was placed by hand to catch candlelight, turning faith into literal illumination. In the Kora Mosque, the frescoes tell stories of Christ and Mary so vividly it feels like they're still breathing behind the plaster. They survived invasions, conversions, earthquakes, and neglect, because beauty like this doesn't fade. It defies when you stand beneath those ancient domes, surrounded by 1,500 years of craftsmanship. It's like staring into eternity wearing a crown of patience. Ottoman elegance, geometry, calligraphy, and pure vibe. Then came the Ottomans, and they didn't just build a new empire, they built an aesthetic. Their art was about harmony, domes that seemed to float, tiles that hypnotized you with symmetry, and calligraphy so elegant it looked like it was singing. At Sultanahmet Mosque, the tiles shimmer in blues and turquoises that look like bottled sky. The architect, Mimar Sinan, created spaces where sound, light, and structure blended into one divine performance. Every echo inside that mosque was calculated to perfection. Even the acoustics are part of the design. Then there's Topkapi Palace, where Ottoman luxury meets artistic obsession. You walk through a hallway, and suddenly every surface, walls, ceilings, door frames, bursts with Iznik tiles patterned like blooming gardens frozen in time. It's not decoration. It's storytelling in ceramic. Even the Arabic calligraphy, looping, fluid, almost sensual, turns words into movement. For the Ottomans, writing was art, each curve a prayer, each stroke a heartbeat. The whirl of the dervishes. Some cities dance. Istanbul spins. The whirling dervishes, followers of Sufi mystic Rumi, turn meditation into performance art. In their flowing white robes and tall felt hats, they rotate in slow, perfect rhythm, one hand reaching up to the heavens, the other turned toward the earth. It's a visual symphony about surrender, unity, and peace. You can witness this ritual at the Galata Mevla Vehanisi, one of Istanbul's oldest dervish lodges. The air thickens with music, flutes, drums, chanting, and then the dancers begin, slowly dissolving into motion. It's mesmerizing, spiritual, hypnotic proof that art here isn't just about seeing, it's about feeling. Street art, the rebellion painted in color. But let's flip the lens, because not all Istanbul art hangs in domes or palaces. Some of it screams from the walls of Kadıköy, Karaköy, and Balat. This is modern Istanbul, where artists trade marble for spray paint and reverence for rebellion. Street art here isn't vandalism. It's commentary, political, poetic, and unapologetically bold. In Kadıköy's Yelda Germany neighborhood, entire apartment blocks are wrapped in murals. Women with wings, cats wearing crowns, dreamscapes colliding with protest slogans. Each piece tells a story the city won't say out loud. The graffiti scene here is part resistance, part romance. Artists painting at night under the hum of neon lights, turning gray concrete into a living canvas. Some taggers quote poetry. Others just write, Yasamak Güzel, life is beautiful. Because that's what Istanbul does. It rebels beautifully. The Grand Bazaar, commerce meets craft. If you think art lives only in galleries, you've clearly never gotten lost in the Grand Bazaar. This 15th century labyrinth has over 4,000 shops, and nearly all of them are some form of artistry. Carpets, ceramics, lamps, leather, every item carries centuries of tradition woven into its making. Turkish carpets, for example, aren't products. They're stories told in knots and colors. Every pattern has meaning, protection, love, fertility, memory, and every weaver has their own rhythm, their own code hidden in the threads. Glass lamps hang from ceilings like captured stars, and hand-painted bowls stack in rainbow towers. Even if you buy nothing, you walk away feeling richer, because the real treasure here is the craftsmanship, not the currency. Museums for the modern soul. Istanbul doesn't live in the past, it flirts with the future. Enter Istanbul Modern, the city's flagship contemporary art museum, now reborn in a sleek, futuristic building by the Bosphorus. Inside, photography, installations, and conceptual art that challenge everything from politics to pop culture. It's the city looking in the mirror and saying, yeah, I'm ancient, and I still innovate. Then there's Para Museum, blending Ottoman heritage with modern edge. Its most famous piece, The Tortoise Trainer, a painting that's become a metaphor for Istanbul itself. Patient, eccentric, wise, and a little absurd. Across town, Ardor and Salt Galata host exhibitions that mix visual art with performance and digital media, a perfect balance of chaos and curation. Because in Istanbul, art isn't static. It evolves, mutates, and reinvents. Just like the city. Music, the pulse that never stops. Istanbul's soundtrack doesn't end when the call to prayer fades. It only gets louder. Wander through Beyoğlu on a Saturday night, and you'll hear it all. Traditional saz melodies, jazz improvisations, electronic beats, and indie rock sung in 3 languages. At Nardi's Jazz Club, candlelight flickers over saxophones. At Babylon Bomaniata, the crowd sways to world music under old factory beams. And in Kadıköy, garage bands play with the same passion ancient poets wrote with, wild, unfiltered, necessary. This city doesn't separate art from life. It is life. The quiet artists, craftsmen of the everyday. You'll find them where tourists rarely look. The calligraphers in the Spice Bazaar, the tile painters in Fethi, the miniature artists in small workshops off Divanyoğlu. They don't call themselves artists. They call themselves craftsmen. But the truth? They're preserving the city's soul one brushstroke at a time. A tile painter mixes pigments older than some countries. A calligrapher writes the same verse for the 1000th time and somehow makes it new. A metalworker shapes a lantern that could outlive us all. These are the quiet creators who remind Istanbul that tradition isn't nostalgia, it's continuity. Photography and film, capturing the chaos. If you've ever wondered why photographers and filmmakers are obsessed with Istanbul, just stand anywhere during golden hour. The light here doesn't just illuminate, it caresses. That's why directors from Nuri Bilge Ceylan to Ridley Scott have used Istanbul as a backdrop. It's cinematic without trying. Every reflection in the Bosphorus, every market scene, every storm cloud over the minarets feels like a frame that already tells a story. Local photographers chase that mix of old and new, a veiled woman on a smartphone, a ferry captain reading poetry, graffiti under a 500-year-old arch. It's a contrast. It's a contradiction. It's true. The soul of Istanbul's art here isn't just decoration, it's survival. It's how the city remembers itself, generation after generation without losing its spark. Because Istanbul's story isn't one of perfection, it's one of expression. Every cracked wall, every repainted mural, every restored dome says the same thing. We're still here. This city paints over its scars but never hides them. It performs its identity every single day, in rhythm, in motion, in color. And maybe that's why you can never really finish Istanbul. You can only experience it, one brushstroke, one song, one sunset at a time. Up next, Chapter 7, The People of Istanbul, Faces, Voices, and the City's Beating Heart. Next time, we step away from the skyline and meet the humans who make it all happen. The street vendors, cafe philosophers, taxi poets, and dreamers who give the city its pulse. Because behind every view, there's a story, and behind every story, there's someone unforgettable.